Hello? Yep, it's me. Guess who? I knew you'd want to see proof. You're just like me. You don't trust that man in the White House. How do you know that I'm not an imposter? Well, I'm not. It's old Wendy. Okay, got that out of the way. I knew this is part of the way things are these days, isn't it? It's just things that we have to do to make sure that everything's on the level. Of course, it seldom is out there in the real world, so, but we expect better, don't we? Now, my talk today is going to be on transgender and and how to treat people. Everybody likes to be treated nice and right or left, which I didn't mean it that way. We all enjoy being special. Don't you like to be special? Anyway, you can tell I'm gonna, I go with whatever flow I want. People are so rough on each other. Well, I've set a bad example. One trans girl that didn't know if she really was going to continue to be friends with me asked me to quit flipping off Donald Trump in my military uniform. And I said, yes, I'll do it. I'll quit. I was setting a bad example for her, really, because she's just barely, she hadn't even started hormones yet. She's just trying to, she's trying to make up her mind what's right about different things. So I better straighten out and fly right. I know how to fly right. Yes, I do. The VA, let me tell you, the VA had me strung out on drugs to keep me from harming myself or other. Well, I'm going to harm myself. I was going to dig into some others though, but they kept me toned down enough to where nothing ever happened. And finally, I got to thinking about that. Well, I feel sleepy and zoned out all the time. So I just quit them all like overnight. I mean, I didn't ask nobody. I just did it, got rid of them. And, I'm bad about doing things like that. I'm just lucky I'm not one of them that's addictive. I can dump anything in seconds, it seems like. I can quit cussing in seconds, which I did. I don't have to cuss. Don't need it. But it kind of looked good maybe on, I thought it did. It looked tough on Twitter, but don't have to do that. God, I'm going to have fun like Jimmy Buffett style. That's what I'm going to do. Until something blows up in my face and, unexpected and stops me. But hey, like Billy Joel said in his song, well, I didn't start this fire. I'm just here trying to put it out. But, if it goes off on me in my face, what can I do about it? Not much. But now we can be nice to each other. That's what I'm here about right now. I want to talk to you about being nice to strangers, or you don't have to be nice to Republicans if you don't want to. You might win a few of them over, but you're not going to win many over by being nice. But I'm talking about particularly for transgender and LGBT people. because their life is rough enough without you adding to pouring gasoline on the fire. But it's just things where treat others kind of like you'd like to be treated, because you don't know when you're going to be locked up in a FEMA camp with a bunch of mean people, that some of them really are mean people, like they are in prisons, and you're going to find yourself in some situations you didn't ask for. Well, transgender people as a class of people didn't ask to be born transgender. We didn't check off slots, which would you like to be? We didn't do that. But anyway, the self-righteous Christian church, they don't want to cut us any slack about that. But I can't help that. They don't want to. I can't make them. I even tried to make one guy be my friend one time at work, and that didn't work. I almost got fired over that. But you can't make people be your friends. It kind of, I don't know, it just kind of backfires on you. So don't do it. Don't, just be nice and hope it works. So, we need to just keep our hands off our face. Stop that. And don't pick your nose in public like Donald Trump. But what we want to do here is clear up, hopefully, a few little things that got out of hand in the church, and there would be a lot more people saved today if a lot of Jesus followers had just kept their trap shut and let stand what Jesus preached. Okay, now first of all, I want to clear it with you, and I think you understand where I'm coming from here. Jesus did not own his own personal copy of the Bible. It wasn't written then. So pardon him, pardon Jesus, if he does not follow every little tenet that Paul taught. Are you getting that? Paul wrote most of the New Testament, and Jesus already knew. He knew the teachings of the Talmud and the Torah and all the Pharisee teachings and customs and their little habits and things like that. The Sadducees. See, the Pharisees believed in the afterlife, and the Sadducees didn't. That's why they were sad, you see, because they didn't believe in an afterlife. Okay, well, let's move along here a little bit. The teachings of Jesus were on the Sermon on the Mount, and they were the Beatitudes. And there are any other red letters in your Bible that are red letters. Jesus, like I said, did not have his own copy of the Bible, but he didn't need it. But he didn't espouse most of what they preach. Timothy and Paul and Peter and John and them. Well, John probably came a little closer with his messages of love, but they went off in directions Jesus didn't even teach in, and they tried to fill in stuff for the people of the church to their best understanding, but it's still human opinion. It was not what Jesus taught, and Jesus never taught anything about LGBTQ people, that whether they were right or wrong, or whether you could be one and still be going to heaven. That's what you want to call it. But now you got, first of all, his name was Saul. He was running around killing Christians left and right, having them drug off in chains to Rome to be tried for different crimes and stuff. He enjoyed that. That was his thing to do. He got intercepted on road to Damascus and had a conversion and became Paul. But he still had all that old Judaism teaching in him. See, he still had all that in him, and he couldn't quite get it all out of him. And he, for instance, he still had the competitive nature about wanting to. He said, I was the Pharisee above Pharisees. He was a real hot number in the Church of Judaism. And he was a competitor. He said, I strive for the high calling of Christ. Well, huh? You do? Is that not what you were doing as a Pharisee? You see? And now you want to do it, and okay, that's your thing. You got to be first. All right, go ahead. See if you can make it. But the thing is, Jesus never taught one word about being LGBTQ or not. Now, he did say that for the hardness of your heart, you can keep your divorce. You can do that. But that was to keep peace in the family, to keep a man from thinking every way possible to get rid of his woman. I mean, to kill her or have her put away or whatever. But your thing with gays, lesbians, and all that wasn't never mentioned. Never. You show me in there where it was mentioned, and I ain't talking about Timothy and the book of Galatians and all that stuff. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about it came in red letters out of Jesus' mouth. It didn't. None of it did. So there's a lot of problems for the church and people. You know, people, if they were just nicer to each other, there'd be a lot of gay people still going to church. Hey, we didn't start the fire. I'd say Saul and then become Paul started the fire. And he was such a fiery little guy. He was a little wiry redheaded type guy that he started riots or revival everywhere he went. The governments of these little towns couldn't hardly take him. They would beg the Romans counselors, wherever they were, to send troops to pick him up by his elbows like that and carry him, a soldier on each side of him, carry him to the city gate and set him down, tell him scat and don't come back, because he created trouble everywhere he went. Well, Jesus didn't create trouble. There was a few that didn't like him because they were for the goddess Diana, and which was a pretty big deity back in those days in that area, and they didn't like that too much. But you know, you have to be able to get along with people, and if you're going to be called a Christian, if that's what you want to be called, then you have an obligation to be nice. It don't cost you one dime to be nice, and you can be nice to people of any color. You can be nice to other Christians, if that's who you hang around, or you can be nice to gay people or to transgender people. And there is a little bit of difference there, just a tad, but I don't mess with it. It's not worth getting in a fuss over. But I will say that the ruckus that has been created, like even these politicians, a lot of them are closet gays. Did you know that? Or did you ever think about that? Because they really are. See, a lot of their secret little groups, they got secret groups. And I think a lot of you know who they are. They're different groups, but there's different groups that they belong to, like the Skull and Bones and some others, where they do things that are not acceptable in public. They're really not. But they don't want to admit that they do these things. So they're blackmailable. So that's where you see some of this stuff. We know it. It's the public on Twitter. We know it. We can feel it. You can't hide it. It's like when the gay person finally comes out of the closet to the family, usually to the family first, and they're hoping that that a bomb don't go off in their face, but a lot of times it does. But what's going to happen is the family says, "Well, we knew you were gay a long time ago. We were just waiting for you to come out and say something because we already knew. I mean, we could figure it out. You're not fooling us. We knew." So that's the same with the public on Twitter and the government people. We know what they are. They just can't admit it. They want you to think that they're solid whites, Snow Whites. Whatever. That's what can we do? So be nice to each other. Don't cost you a dime. Be nice. Now, I was going to mention to you when I showed you my picture, that white, I might as well call it white. It's still pretty white. That is my icon wig that I wear. I wear that for public events or something like that, where somebody might look at us. I've seen that girl on Twitter. I know her. That's her. I know. That's why I wear it, so they can put a face to what's going on. But I'm usually in brown hair, so it's just a lot more comfortable around the house. That's all. But anyway, getting back to, I don't like to get steer too far off course here. Now I did a similar broadcast of this same topic in the platinum wig. But the thing with that one is I was a little more nervous and I was hitting off on 50 different subjects. I'm trying to stay away from that this time. I'm trying to concentrate on one thing, and that is making sure you understand that transgender people have a complicated world. It's not, shouldn't be you or us. It should be all of us just enjoying life. I mean, are we all not just trying to make it through the day? Did you have something extra special that you're doing that we all know about that you're not sharing with us? I mean, come on. We're all just trying to make it through the day, are we not? At this point, especially with what's going on. Most of what that we might do tomorrow might not even happen. we're not promised tomorrow. And the way things, with the president we got now, things could explode right in our face pretty quick. So just be grateful, be nice, enjoy others, try to anyway. Do things with your family. This is Memorial Day weekend, the day I started my broadcast. And take your family out, go to the mountains, go up on the Blue Ridge Parkway and look at all the scenery out there. You don't know how many days you've got. All you have to do is just look at the world around you and see how unstable it is getting. It's getting very unstable. But I don't mean you have to let it ruin your day every day. You can just jump in there and do something on your own to have fun. Now, I'm going to end this talk in a minute. But a lot of you have created a lot of strife in your home because you have a gay person or a transgender. You need to get over that. When you had that child, I'm going to assume for a second that you're the parent. Now, you raised them, and just because they didn't quite turn out like you wanted does not give you the right to run their whole life for them. Once they pass a certain age, it's their life. Now, you can, and most parents do, express what their opinion is. But after that, after you got your word out, and they really all know how you think, right? Let it go. You need to do that for their sake and for your sake. Because if you don't, if you keep aggravating them, you're going to drive them away from you forever. That happened to me. I'm gone. I'm out of there. They refused to see that I had any other, that I had a choice, that I had to do what I had to do. I mean, no, they didn't want to hear it. So if you want to live a split life like that, I mean, from your part of your kids who didn't turn out, well, why did you have them? If you want to live their life for them, that's not letting them live their life. That's you living their life. If you've got to live their life for them, why did you bother to have them? You're already here by yourself. I mean, you're going to make them mini-me's out of yourself? That's not right. You shouldn't do that. Like I said, if you got to show your opinion, then do it and shut it off. Stop it. Don't do it no more. You've had your say. It is, if you were entitled to a say, but we have freedom of speech and most people exercise that right. So think about these things. You want peace and joy in your house? Be nice. It don't cost you one dime to be nice to the other people. You don't have to be snarky and snappy at them and act like Archie Bunker to them. Why would you want to do that? Just because you didn't get your way about something? Okay, well, I'll sign off for right now, but I will be back. That's a warning. I'll be back if you want to watch me. I would appreciate it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got a lot to teach. I've been around a long time, and I've been in more jobs than most of y'all probably have ever looked at it in a job counseling service. And I know a lot to teach if you want to hear it. And I would appreciate your viewership. And I am trying to get maximum numbers of viewers for the obvious reasons. I mean, it can be beneficial to me without costing you anything. Won't cost you a dime. Just tune in and view me. And you can I hope you like my presentations. And if you do, it's going to help me in ways that you don't really realize. But now, if you decide you want to do the same thing, hit me up on Twitter, Wendy Marie McCraw, and I'll try to talk you through it like I was talked through it. Transgender and Proud is her name that I'm in friends with on this sort of thing. And she's got my very first, with the blonde wig, she's got my first video and shares it with me. And she took the pictures for me on that. So been very helpful. And so me and her are kind of working together on these projects in some ways. Not like we were originally intending, but we are still friends with it. And that's all for now. Let's hope this video is what you need to get you through those transgender people that you just maybe you don't understand. Maybe you are one, but just do the best you can and be nice to everybody. All right, bye.